This is Michael Popok, Legal AF. The Department of Justice under Biden and Harris are still cleaning up the mess and cleaning out the stalls left behind by Donald Trump and all of his misconduct. Recently, we just got new word that two former FBI agents and analysts, Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, have now settled with the Department of Justice an aspect of their case related to text messages of theirs, private, between the two of them, that happened to reference Donald Trump in a negative fashion, that were released in 2017, just before the Deputy Acting Attorney General testified to Congress was an improper invasion of their privacy, should never have been released. Those are the very texts that Donald Trump then used while he was still in control to have Page and Strzok fired from the FBI, ending and dashing their careers, and then continued to ridicule them and go after them because they were also involved with the Russia collusion investigation for their day job. I mean, at night, they candidly talked to each other about how big of an idiot and disgusting and depraved Donald Trump was. But during the day, they worked for the FBI and they were assigned to the Mueller investigation, having nothing to do with their day job, having nothing to do with their work. This was their private expression, over a couple of drinks about this guy named Donald Trump, who they believe would never get reelected. And they couldn't believe got elected in the first time and beat Hillary Clinton. But now there's been a settlement because that's the right thing to do. The Department of Justice, which means you and me, because it's our money, our taxpayer dollars, settled for $1.2 million with Peter Strzok and $800,000 with Lisa Page. And this is only the aspect of their lawsuits against the government that relate to their invasion of privacy. That those text messages that were private, had nothing to do with their business, should never have been released by the FBI, and they believe was pressured by Donald Trump and a rotating band of attorney generals to release those items. And they were released to the press. They became public. They became things that had to be discussed during congressional committee hearings that were attended by the Department of Justice, and it put these people in a terrible, negative, defamatory, disparaging life and basically ended their careers. Now, they still have, at least Strzok has, a continued lawsuit against the United States related to his argument that he was effectively the Michael Cohen of the FBI, that he was then fired and gone after and retaliated against because of the positions that were found in these text messages that should never have been disclosed to the public. And so he's got this improper, wrongful retaliation claim that continues. So he's going to take his $1.2 million that his lawyers obtained for him, and will be able now, with that war chest, to go after the bigger claim, which was his entire career was ended, which is worth, I'm sure, multi-millions of dollars. He'll never be the same again. The guy wanted to be in the FBI. He has a First Amendment right to express his opinions. It didn't show bias. Donald Trump could never show, because it doesn't exist, bias by Page and Strzok, who were in a relationship, against him that somehow made impure, polluted the investigation by Robert Mueller that they were involved with, that they were tasked to. He never was able to show that, but he had no problem with ending these two people's career and embarrassing them and going after them on a regular basis. Here's an example of some of the text messages that these two that were in a relationship shared with each other. It's all public now. I'm not outing this. This is already 7 or 8 year old news, but I thought it's important for the hot take to be complete. In March 2016, Page exclaimed to Strzok about Trump, saying that when Trump made a comment that there's never been any proof that Putin has killed anybody, this is again Donald Trump fanboying Vladimir Putin. Page wrote, "What an utter idiot." And in March 2016, Page wrote, "God, Trump is a loathsome human. OMG, he's an idiot." By the way, these comments are very, very similar to the comments that J.D. Vance, who's running as Trump's vice president, made in 2016. They're almost identical. Let's keep going. Strzok wrote to Page, "God, Hillary should win by 100 million. Even though he's considered himself a conservative Democrat. Page wrote to Strzok and said, "Also, did you hear Trump make a comment about the size of his penis earlier? This man cannot be president." I don't think anybody would disagree with that. And there were some comments they made about Julian Assange and the WikiLeaks and Clinton and all of that. Now, look, especially after Donald Trump went after Khizr Khan, who's the Gold Star father, and where he claimed that we needed to save the country from Donald Trump, and then Trump went after this person who was a Gold Star father, lost a child, a service person who served their country with dignity and was killed in battle, in action. And when that happened, Strzok and Page were like, this guy's so disgusting, I can't believe that the American people would even consider electing him. But those are all private musings of two people in a relationship who also had a day job in the FBI. If people think that the Secret Service doesn't have opinions about who they cover, that the FBI doesn't have opinions they may share with people in their lives about investigations that they're on without revealing confidential information, I mean, these are human beings. Let's be fair. But they have First Amendment rights. If it doesn't impact their job and there's no showing of bias in how they do their job, then their private text messages have no value, have no purpose. So Peter Strzok got his 1.2 million this week. Lisa Page got her 800,000, and they'll continue in their cases, Strzok particularly, about the retaliation that led to the end of his FBI career. This is the right thing that departments of justices should do when they're led by people like Joe Biden and in the future by Kamala Harris. That's what we see. When you put somebody like Trump in office, he completely captures the and removes the independence of the Department of Justice so that they do his bidding. FBI the same, and weaponizes the whole department to go after his political enemies. That's the major difference. If you still need differences between the two sides, here's an example. The Page-Strzok affair, no pun intended, is one of those examples. We'll continue to follow how the Biden-Harris administration, soon to be the Harris administration, it continues to clean up after Donald Trump having been in office in 2016 to 2020, and still does it to this day. It's not over. Maybe that's what Joe Biden, the president, was referring to as he's got work left to be done. This is one of it. This is certainly one of it right here. We'll continue to follow it all on the MeidasTouch Network and on Legal AF. Follow me on social media, MS Popok. Go over to playlists and contributors. Look for Michael Popok. You'll find all of my body of work there. It's free. Subscribe to the MeidasTouch Network. Watch our YouTube, Legal AF, at the intersection of law and politics every Wednesday and Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and then on every audio podcast platform of your choice. You can also leave me a comment and a thumbs up. It really does matter. It signals to the algorithms that you like this kind of content. If you watch the whole video, maybe I should say that at the beginning. If you watch the whole video, it also signals to the algorithms you like this content, and it will keep coming to you. So until my next hot take, until my next Legal AF, this is Michael Popok reporting.
Hey, Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram at MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.